In a contentious speaking about contentious, in a contentious 6-3 ruling, the court has determined that former president and 34-time convicted felon Donald Trump enjoys complete immunity for his actions deemed official during his presidency, but not for those considered unofficial. This decision essentially makes it impossible for Trump to face trial on his January 6 charges before the upcoming November election, with Trump having the option to appeal adverse rulings, potentially dragging out this case for years. Should he reclaim the White House, Trump could direct the Department of Justice to dismiss the case altogether, of course, because he won't be prosecuted for it, so why wouldn't he? The decision, authored by Chief Justice John Roberts, sends the issue of defining what constitutes official actions back down to the lower courts, I should say. Justice Roberts, joined by the court's conservative justices, emphasized that the president has absolute immunity for actions within the scope of their official duties. However, Justice Sonia Sotomayor, in a fiery dissent, argued that this ruling undermines the fundamental principle that no one is above the law. Her concerns reflect a broader debate on presidential power and accountability. Trump, for his part, is ecstatic, writing on Truth Social. Damien, do you have a Truth Social account?
I don't. No, sir, I don't. I'm only on X.
I thought you might. I don't know. I thought you might fade that $30 a month for Truth Social.
I can't keep up with all those apps.
He wrote, "Big win." Oh, sorry.
Hello, boys.
Here? Hold up. We have Trump on the phone.
The DJT is here. Good evening, boys. And to my super duper paratrooper of a follower, God bless. 2 Corinthians, my favorite scripture. Big win for our Constitution and democracy. Proud to be an American where at least I know I'm free and we string up the blacks.
Oh my God. But maybe Trump should be concerned because according to the Huffington Post, they say this: the Supreme Court technically gives Joe Biden the legal okay to assassinate Donald Trump with this ruling. Former White House counsel John Dean told the Huffington Post, in a hypothetical scenario, Biden ordering Trump to kill people or to kill Trump, his actual giving of that order will be potentially unavailable for evidence. This, of course, is something that the president has said that he would never do as it currently stands.
At the outset of our nation, it was the character of George. At the outset of our nation, it was the character of George Washington, our first president, to define the presidency. He believed power was limited, not absolute, and that power always resides with the people, always. Now, over 200 years later, with today's Supreme Court decision, once again, it'll depend on the character of the men and women who hold that presidency that are going to define the limits of the power of the presidency, because the law will no longer do it. I know I will respect the limits of the presidential powers I have for 3.5 years, but any president, including Donald Trump, will now be free to ignore the law. I concur with Justice Sotomayor's dissent today. Here's what she said. She said, in every use of official power, the president is now a king above the law. With fear for our democracy, I dissent. End of quote. So should the American people dissent. I dissent. May God bless you all, and may God help preserve our democracy. Thank you. And may God protect our troops.
Damien, do you dissent?
End of quote.
Do you dissent, Damien?
Dissent what? I dissent that crap that he just spewed out of his mouth. That's what I dissent, right? So people are creating these wacky hypotheticals as relates to this ruling, right? They say, oh, Trump's gonna put us back in chains. He's gonna, like, we already had 4 years. He didn't put black people back in chains. So why are we still making up that lie, right? But here's the thing about that.
He sure tried.
No, he didn't. Come on, so cut it out. We got to be realistic here. So here's the thing about this ruling. The Supreme Court just put in black and white what has been the understood thinking around this type of rationale as it relates to presidential immunity, right? It just simply said, if the president is conducting his official duties as per the Constitution, then he has immunity. But if he is doing something that's non-official, then he or she can be prosecuted, right? Richard Nixon, under this ruling, would still be prosecuted today because his actions were not official, right? And so
But they also weren't, to be fair, they also weren't laid out in this black and white way that now, future presidents, if they're savvy enough, will be able to read this opinion and be able to read the laws, which are really laid out black and white now. And there won't be any sort of, oh, maybe if I do this, I might get prosecuted, so I won't do it. But now it's like, okay, since you laid it out, I might try it because I can just say it was unofficial.
Jason, watch this. Obama killed 4 Americans in 2013 via drone strikes. Right. Now, should he be prosecuted for that?
No, because Obama didn't say kill 4 people. Trump told people to go down to the Capitol. That's a difference.
Should Biden be prosecuted for sending the FBI to his political opponent's house?
Biden didn't do that. Biden doesn't.
How you know that? But he doesn't control the FBI. He appoints the director. He appoints the director. They serve under him.
Control what they do. He doesn't tell them what to do.
Yes, he
does.
Wait,
and specifically, you're talking about search on Mar-a-Lago.
Wait, they serve at his pleasure, so they don't listen to him.
But Damon, are you talking about when they search Mar-a-Lago for those documents?
Yes.
The documents that he should not have had.
I'm right. Dex, I'm right. That's why you got that smirk on your face.
Wait,
I'm right.
Wait. You mean the documents that it was illegal for him to have at Mar-a-Lago?
You talking about the same documents that Biden had in his garage?
We're not talking about Biden.
Biden wasn't president.
If we're going to do this, let's do it.
Biden wasn't president.
See, here's the thing.
No, he was vice president.
I heard you.
So as vice president, he had no business taking documents home. As president, he can't take documents home.
And when he was asked to give them back, what did he do? He gave them back. The problem with Trump is when they asked Trump to give them back, Trump said, "Oh, I don't have them." And then Trump instructed.
You see what you just did, Jason?
You
skipped over. He shouldn't have the documents at all.
He didn't have those documents. First of all, you're acting like they had the same documents. They did not. First of all, second of all, when Trump was asked to give the documents back, he instructed his assistants to hide them in another room. So he was clearly obfuscating the American public and trying to hide those documents when he was told to give those back.
Not to mention, when Tricky Dick put a Supreme Court justice on the bench, they were actually a judge for more than 3 days. Your president put Sasha Amy Baron Cohen on that thing, and she didn't even serve as a paralegal. She knows nothing about the law.
Wait, yeah, and Ketanji Brown Jackson couldn't define what a woman was, so why would I want her?
Now come on.
Let's talk, brothers. Let's have some bro talk. If we're gonna do this, right?
You keep a talking point in your back pocket, though.
Hey, Bill, I'm Baptist, right? Hey.
Donald.
Let me get an understanding for a second. Let me get an understanding. So, is everybody Democrat? Identify as Democrat?
I'm an independent.
Okay. But you lean left. I can tell.
I'm a truth seeker.
Okay. Okay. Ty, you Democrat?
Yes, 100%.
Okay. Bill, you Democrat?
I am not.
Okay. You independent?
It's tricky.
Bill is a Republican. Bill is a Republican, but he is a less conservative Republican than most.
Okay.
He voted for Bush twice.
I did vote for Bush twice.
Bill, did you vote for Trump?
Absolutely not. He's a convicted felon in a goddamn movie.
He wasn't a convicted felon in 2020. You could have voted for him then.
He was an unconvicted in 2020 that called for the killing of 5 black boys. There was no way he was getting my vote. And he never apologized.
I hear you on that. I hear you on that. And that's something that I had to get over when it came to Trump.
Oh, you just got over him calling for the killing of 5 people that look like you. Redlining, but also the redlining that he participated in that he still benefits from. You had to
he's not a saint by far.
Before you go, I really just want to direct this conversation to the point. Has the Supreme Court given too much power to the president? And what does this mean for the future of our democracy? Is it in danger? Is it the same? Do you think nothing's changed just because this is what people already assumed? What do you think?
I don't think this ruling really impacts anything. This is the thinking that has always been for years, right? Listen, the president of the United States is the most powerful person on the globe, right? So they haven't given him any more power. Like, I don't care who the president is, whatever they do is going to be protected as long as it's within the guise of their official duties, right? So let's just say it's not going to happen. Let's just say that Trump got convicted in Atlanta and they wanted him to go to jail, but then he was elected as president. Being president of the United States supersedes anything else. So he would serve his time. I mean, in the Oval Office, right? And then after that, maybe they would get
Real quick before you go though, you don't think that if Donald Trump was elected president that he would go after his political opponents? Just thinking about this before you answer though, this is the same guy who called
You're right. You were like the first time.
Hillary Clinton. He talked about her emails. He said Barack Obama wasn't born here. He used the nickname Pocahontas to refer to, who was it? Nancy Pelosi or somebody like that.
No, not
No.
Who was that?
glasses.
Haircut. Glasses.
Warren, Elizabeth Warren.
Yeah, Elizabeth Warren. Yes, like he goes.
I love this. Hold up. I love this charade he just played. Haircut, glasses. Elizabeth Warren.
So we know that he is willing to go after his political opponents and their wives verbally. You don't think that he would do anything to go after them, like financially or like put their lives on the line or anything like that? You don't?
I don't think so. And I'll tell you why. Now let's be honest about this.
Yeah.
Trump has been attacked since the day that he announced he was going to run for president by Democrats. Yeah? So let's not act like Democrats haven't been attacking him and calling him every name in the book, calling his supporters deplorables, all that kind of stuff. Like, it's been nasty. And it started with Hillary. Let me be honest with you. But one of the things that I was looking for with Trump this time around, I said I wanted him to grow up. Like, there were a lot of things he did in his first administration where he was
85-year-old man to grow up.
Yeah, no, because we all can grow. And I was like, if you just keep your mouth shut, maybe things will be a little better. And so
that's why I didn't like that debate, though. That's why I didn't like that they said they're going to mute it, because I understand what you're saying. When they said they're going to mute them, it's like you're not getting their real responses and real personalities.
I thought that was great for Trump. Because
I think it was great. I do think it was great for Trump because it keeps a muzzle on him. But I do think that you would have been disappointed had they not done that, because he would have been making the jokes and stuff. He even told Joe the one time, like, I don't know what you just said. I don't even think you know it.
That was great.
He cannot help. He can't. I liked it too, but he can't help but take a shot at him, and that's the reason why I'm like, this is tricky for me to know that they're allowing him to have free reign like that.
Yeah, let me finish this point, and I'll land my plane per se. But
got it.
Let's Baptist. Come on, land the plane.
No, that's some Twitter space stuff. But no, he's been a little more mature this time around, right? He hasn't been as reckless with his words this time around. He's been a little mature. He's listening to his team a little better this time around, because the first administration, he didn't listen to nobody. And so I think he learned from his mistakes a little better. He I'm gonna tell you, in the debate, he actually seemed like the adult in the room, to be honest with you. That's the way I saw it. And so I'm proud of him to see how he's grown. Listen, if you look, the
bar is on the floor. Like, what are we talking about?
I'm with you. It is. It absolutely is. This is what we have. We got to choose, right? So do you want a walking corpse, or do you want somebody that can hit a golf ball 300 yards?
And I've been waiting to say this.
That's where we are at this point.
I want the best cabinet. And to me, the best cabinet is the Democrats. I'm not going to sit here and try to, because we've seen what's happened with Republicans. We've seen what happened. He's fired them. Of course, so we won't know.
Do you know?
Damien, he still doesn't have a vice president. The election's in 2 months. Like, what are we talking about here?
Damien is the vice president. That's what it is. This is the announcement tonight.
He can name you as vice president and still win. And no disrespect to you.
Though, Damien, the point is his cabinet, he won't have a cabinet because no one can trust him, because he fires everyone in his cabinet like he did the first time he was president.
Well, if people aren't doing their jobs right, they need to be fired. And that's one of the points that Trump made in the debate. The Afghanistan pullout was a disaster and nobody got fired.
Okay, so Biden didn't fire anyone from his cabinet, right? Okay. So in Obama, he had very few cabinet firings as well. He had 8 years, and he mostly had the same cabinet when he started as when he ended, right? But my point is, Trump in 4 years went over the cabinet twice. He had 3 secretaries of state. What are we talking about here?
It happens sometimes. If people aren't performing, they got to go.
It happens sometimes.
We don't want fraud, waste, and abuse in government. Let me say this. Pete Buttigieg, Secretary of Transportation, the administration invested hundreds of billions, millions, if not billions of dollars into electric vehicle charging stations. Did you know they've only completed like 3 or 4 of them? 3 or 4.
Yeah, but
in 3 years.
What do you care about that for?
What do you mean? I drive a Tesla. I care. Right?
Oh,
a lot of Americans.
The president doesn't want to get rid of fossil fuel. So how does that make you feel?
Again, I'm not a lockstep every issue Republican, right? I live in the real world, right? And I understand that this world is going to eventually go fully green on renewable energy, right? I got solar panels on my house. You know what I'm saying?
You're voting for someone who's not going to try to. You're voting for someone who's not going to try to preserve, our natural resources, and you're just going to go ahead and vote for him anyway, so he can kind of destroy all of this progress that we're making towards electrical
Well, that ain't my
efficiency.
top issue when it comes to Trump. But my top issue
So why
with
you
this
bringing it
election.
up? So why you bringing it up with Pete Buttigieg?
Well, I'm showing you how poor of a job that
It
Pete is
doesn't
doing,
matter.
and he needs
That's
to be
why.
fired.
It doesn't
But you said the
matter.
cabinet's doing well, and they're not doing a great job, right?
They are
But
doing
no,
well.
my top issue. No, you're just a Democrat, man. No, my bad. You're independent. I respect it.
Independent.
No, but my
Trump-
top
I'm sorry.
issue is
Trump's
illegal
Secretary of
immigration.
Education did a great job.
Right.
What's his name? Carmona?
Oh, his.
It wasn't even him. It was a her. See.
Oh, you talking about Trump? DeVos?
Uh-huh.
I wasn't a fan of her. No, I wasn't a fan of her. Listen, I told you I don't love everything that Trump does. I don't. Right?
So we went from MAGA lockstep to at least we're making progress. Let
me tell y'all this though.
You're coming. By this time next year, if you be on our show, you're gonna be a Democrat. I love it.
No. I used to be. I'll never go back. So listen, I'm from Jackson, Mississippi, and so my father was born in 1957. My grandparents were sharecroppers, right? My grandmother used to tell me stories about how she thought she was going to get killed one day because some white woman called her the N-word and she cursed the woman out and she thought the Klan was going to come and get her, right? But she always told me, be strong and stand on your square. That said, the 88 and 94 crime bills decimated our communities as Black people. And Joe Biden was proud of it. He locked up grandmothers for 30 years for nonviolent offenses. He talked about how we're unredeemable and miscreants and super predators, right? And so for me, that's hard for me to get over. Like you talked about, I know Trump was wrong what he did about the Central Park 5, and so I can't make excuses for that. But it's another thing to enact policy that affects a group of people who have already been harmed for 400 years and affect a group of people through policy, right? And decimate their communities in the way that it did. And for me, that's tough to look over the decimation that crime bill had on our communities. And for me, that's why I can't touch Joe Biden with a 10-foot pole.
Okay.
Trump never passed any legislation to hurt our community.
Or any legislation at all.
I disagree with that, but okay. I think the 3 Supreme Court justices that he put on the Supreme Court are going to damage our people and our society.
Jason, you know who you blame for that? You blame Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
I knew you were going to say that.
For being too egotistical to step down. If she would have stepped down under Obama, we wouldn't be having this conversation today.
Or if Mitch McConnell wouldn't have held that vote until Trump got in office, then we wouldn't have had this problem as well. So, okay, if you want to do Ruth Bader, I'll do Mitch McConnell. Okay, don't act like I don't politics. I know where you're going. Look, Damien, I really appreciate you joining us. You've been awesome tonight. I love this debate. It's been great for the show. Tell people where they can find you if they want to follow you at.
Yeah, you can find me on X, formerly known as Twitter. You see my handle right there at Noble Negro with an E on the end. I have a lot of controversial opinions. I'm a Baptist preacher. I love everybody. I love politics as well. I want to see our people do well, and I want to see our country move forward. And so I thank y'all for the opportunity. Dex, thank you for reaching out, and thank you to your viewers and your listeners.